My name is Olivia Morgan. I'm 29 years old, and until last month, my family thought I was the biggest disappointment in 3 generations. While my cousins flaunted their corporate jobs and designer handbags at every family gathering, I quietly endured their condescending remarks about my little cleaning business. They had no idea that my janitorial company, Sterling Solutions, employed over 200 people and held contracts worth millions. More importantly, they didn't know that their precious marketing firm, Crawford and Associates, where they worked as mid-level employees, was entirely dependent on the building maintenance contract I'd personally negotiated and could terminate at any time. The mockery started 8 months ago at my grandmother's 80th birthday party. My cousin Jessica, 27 and perpetually convinced of her own importance, made sure everyone heard her commentary. "Poor Olivia," she announced, loudly enough for the entire dining room to hear. "Still cleaning offices while the rest of us have real careers." Her sister Amanda, 31 and equally venomous, chimed in with fake sympathy. "Maybe we could get you an entry-level position somewhere, Liv. You can't push a mop forever." Their laughter echoed through the room, while I smiled politely, cutting my grandmother's cake and saying nothing. I'd learned long ago that revealing the truth too early ruins the satisfaction of watching people destroy themselves with their own assumptions. What my family didn't understand was that I'd inherited more than just my grandfather's work ethic. When he died 5 years ago, he left me his small janitorial business and a piece of advice that changed everything. People overlook what they consider beneath them, and that blindness becomes their weakness. I'd taken his 3-person cleaning crew and transformed it into Sterling Solutions, the largest commercial cleaning company in the tri-state area. We maintained office buildings, hospitals, shopping centers, and yes, the prestigious downtown tower where Crawford and Associates occupied 3 floors. My signature was on their building's maintenance contract, though they conducted all negotiations through my operations manager, deliberately keeping my identity private for exactly moments like this. The family dynamics had always been complicated, rooted in decades of favoritism and financial jealousy. My Aunt Patricia, Jessica and Amanda's mother, had married into money and never let anyone forget it. She'd raised her daughters to believe that success meant corner offices and expensive clothes, dismissing any work that involved physical labor as beneath their social standing. Meanwhile, my mother had struggled as a single parent after my father left, working 2 jobs to keep us afloat. The family's subtle but constant message was clear. Patricia's daughters were destined for greatness, while I was expected to be grateful for whatever scraps life offered. This generational bias made their recent treatment particularly cruel, but also set up the perfect opportunity for justice. Over the following months, the mockery intensified with each family interaction. At my cousin Michael's engagement party in July, Jessica cornered me near the bar with her latest career update. "I just got promoted to senior marketing coordinator," she bragged, swirling her wine dramatically. "The company's expanding, taking on bigger contracts. We're even handling the marketing for our entire building now. It's owned by some cleaning company. Can you believe it?" Amanda joined us, designer purse prominently displayed. "Speaking of cleaning, Olivia, are you still doing that? Maybe it's time to consider something more professional." Their friends nodded sympathetically, as if my career was a tragedy they were nobly acknowledging. I smiled and congratulated Jessica on her promotion, already planning how to make this conversation memorable for entirely different reasons. The breaking point came at my cousin Sarah's wedding reception in September. The extended family had gathered for what should have been a celebration, but Jessica and Amanda turned it into another opportunity for public humiliation. During the reception dinner, they launched into a loud conversation designed to embarrass me in front of distant relatives I rarely saw. "It's so sad," Jessica declared. her voice carrying across 3 tables. Olivia's nearly 30 and still hasn't figured out her life. We keep offering to help her find real work, but she's content with her little cleaning jobs. Amanda nodded gravely. Some people just lack ambition. At least she's employed, I suppose. Their Aunt Margaret, visiting from California, looked at me with pity that made my skin crawl. The humiliation was complete, witnessed by 50 family members who would remember this moment for years. That night, I made my decision. The next morning, I called my operations manager and instructed him to schedule a routine contract review meeting with Crawford and Associates for the following month. I specifically requested to meet with their senior marketing team, Jessica's department, to discuss concerns about service quality and potential contract modifications. The beauty of corporate bureaucracy meant that Jessica and Amanda would be required to attend a meeting with the client they'd unknowingly been mocking for months. I spent the next 3 weeks preparing, ensuring every detail would create maximum impact while maintaining complete plausibility. The meeting was set for October 15th, exactly 1 month after their wedding reception performance, in Crawford and Associates' main conference room. The morning of the revelation, I dressed carefully in a tailored navy suit that cost more than Jessica's monthly salary, though she'd never know that detail. I arrived at Crawford and Associates accompanied by my legal counsel and operations manager, introducing myself simply as Miss Morgan, CEO of Sterling Solutions. The receptionist, clearly flustered by the unexpected executive visit, ushered us into the building's most impressive conference room. Jessica and Amanda sat at the polished table with their colleagues, professional smiles masking obvious nervousness about meeting their building's mysterious contract holder. Neither recognized me immediately in my business attire, but I watched their expressions shift from confusion to recognition to absolute horror as I took my seat at the head of the table and announced our business relationship. "Good morning," I began, enjoying the way Jessica's face drained of color as reality crashed down around her. "I'm here because Sterling Solutions has some concerns about our service relationship with this building's tenants." Amanda's mouth hung open as she processed the implications, finally understanding that her mop-pushing cousin controlled their workplace's essential services. I continued professionally, outlining how their company's lease included mandatory use of building-approved maintenance services, and how Sterling Solutions maintained sole discretion over service quality standards. "We've received reports of inappropriate workplace behavior that reflects poorly on companies we service," I explained, watching them realize their months of mockery had been directed at someone who could effectively end their careers with a single phone call. The immediate consequences were swift and devastating. Within hours, news of their connection to the building's owner had spread through Crawford and Associates, humiliating Jessica and Amanda in front of colleagues who'd witnessed their recent bragging about controlling their building's destiny. Their supervisor, Mr. Crawford himself, personally apologized for any unprofessional conduct and assured me that his employees understood the importance of maintaining respectful relationships with service partners. Jessica and Amanda sat in stunned silence as their professional reputations crumbled, knowing that every colleague now viewed them as the employees who'd insulted their building's owner. The power dynamic had shifted permanently. They were no longer rising stars, but liabilities who'd nearly cost their company a multi-million-dollar contract. The family fallout was equally satisfying. That evening, my phone buzzed with messages from relatives who'd heard about the day's events through the family gossip network. Aunt Patricia called, her voice tight with barely controlled panic, begging me not to take this too far and reminding me that family should support family. Jessica sent a rambling text apologizing for any misunderstandings and suggesting we put this behind us for the family's sake. Amanda's message was shorter but more honest. "I'm sorry. Please don't fire us." I responded to none of them that night, letting them stew in uncertainty about their futures. The wedding reception humiliation had been witnessed by dozens. Now their professional humiliation would be discussed at every family gathering for the next decade, with me as the victor rather than the victim. The final resolution came 2 weeks later at my grandmother's Sunday dinner, the first family gathering since the revelation. The atmosphere was electric with tension as Jessica and Amanda arrived, their usual confidence replaced by nervous deference. They approached me hesitantly, offering genuine apologies for their years of condescending behavior and acknowledging they'd misjudged my career success. I accepted their apologies graciously, explaining that Sterling Solutions valued professional relationships above personal feelings, ensuring their jobs remained secure as long as their conduct improved. The message was clear. I held their professional futures in my hands, and everyone in the room understood the new family hierarchy. My grandmother, sharp as ever at 80, smiled knowingly and declared it wonderful that Olivia's business success brings the family together.